Is this thing on? Hi, Facebook. I've never done this before. I'm trying to figure out how this works. Hopefully it's already working. I'm Sarah. Am I supposed to introduce myself? No, you know that because you're on my Facebook. Welcome. We're streaming live from my friend's house here in LA. And I'm going to fire up some of the questions that you guys left for me on Instagram to get things going. Also a word from our sponsors. USA and Legendary, that was a dog in the background. USA and Legendary wanted me to let you know that for the Latin American markets, Colony Season 2 airs on TNT series. Tonight, Thursdays at 9 p.m. in Argentina and 8 p.m. in Mexico. And in Canada, Colony Season 2 airs on Bravo Thursdays at 10 p.m. So there we go. Oh wow, this is already working. How much input do you... Whoa, slow down. Welcome to live. Thank you. Brett Wagner says you're amazing. So are you, man. I love you too, Barbara Santiago. And hi, Lorenzo Fonseca. Look at all you guys. There's like all these hearts going by. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be happening. Let's see. How is it going for you, lovely? Hi, Brittany Reese. It's going awesome. Yay, you figured it out. I appreciate the support with my not tech savviness. Let me see if I can pull up some questions because you guys have been amazing sending things in today. Let's see. Hi, Iran. Lots of people are confused about this stuff. I'm glad I'm not the only one. How do I slow these things down so that I can answer your questions? All right, I'm just going to try and keep up with them. Miss you on The Walking Dead. Thank you so much. That's super nice of you. This is Gilroy back here. You skipped me, LOL. Sorry, Tia Boggins. I don't know how to slow this thing down. Can you type your question again? And I can try and... Robin, standing on the street again, waiting for my bus to go to work. Why is it winter in Vancouver? Because it's February and it's super cold. Info on Prison Break. I will do that in... I'm going to do a Facebook Live for Prison Break when we come out. See the next movie. Oh, I'm so excited for you guys to see... This Is Your Death. It's going to be amazing. I think. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Let's see. You guys are saying all kinds of nice things. I feel like I should be answering questions. But let's see if I can find... Oh, I should check out Facebook here, right? Because you guys left questions here. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. Let's see. There were posts that you guys left questions on today. Will Facebook allow me to be on my computer and my phone at the same time? Yes, it will. Let's see. Colony Live pre-show. That's a terrible picture. All right. So earlier today, will you please join Twitter? I doubt it. That freaks me out. I don't know if I can say anything in whatever 140 characters. Please leave the door open, LOL, says Kevin Edmond. I think I already did, honey. Woo! Hi, that was Cherry Garcia. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Cherry Garcia, a trained agility dog and my friend's dog, who's super excited to be on Facebook. Is Katie concerned about Charlie's state of mind after all he's been through? Yes, massively. And the episode tonight, 204, is going to deal a lot with Charlie's kind of PTSD, I guess, and what he has learned over in Santa Monica. And the fact that he's no longer the same kid that he was. And that will continue to be a major plot point through the season. That, you know, getting Charlie back physically doesn't mean that they have him back kind of spiritually and emotionally. It's a similar arc, I think, in terms of what Katie's been going through with Gracie, which is to say that the physical security of a child is not enough, and that's what they're learning. Okay, more as this is coming up. What was the best part of working on the new season of Colony? I could answer that question for the whole half an hour. I have always been a science fiction junkie. I loved, I grew up watching Star Trek with my dad. Star Wars movies came out. I was sort of born in the middle of the Star Wars generation. I love Battlestar Galactica. I've always wanted to do sci-fi. And so Colony's kind of the show that I've always most wanted to do. But as with anything else, I want to say maybe the best part is the people. It is a really extraordinary cast, and our crew and the writers, and to be working on something that really matters right now, and a show that's really saying something about fascism and resistance and collaboration is nothing short of an honor. So there you go. Are you afraid that Charlie or Bram may end up working for the other side? Which might compromise you even further? I think part of Katie would want to say that Bram isn't capable of working for the other side because he is kind of born and bred her son. I think Katie's always identified Bram as the one who's the most like her. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is yet to be determined. But I think what Katie and Will are coming to see as parents is that really anybody's capable of anything. Will Bowman would have said 2 years ago that he was incapable of collaborating, that he would never turn against his own in any way, and yet he did what he felt was right in order to protect his family. And so there might even be a part of Katie and even Will that feels that if Bram collaborating keeps him alive, maybe that's worth it. I think Katie, especially this year, is wondering if the ideology and the ethics of the whole thing, the whole resistance, didn't run away with her and she stopped thinking about her family's safety. I think she's really grappling with all of that. Brazil loves you. Thank you, Brazil. I love you too. How does this role compared with other roles you've played strength-wise? It's an interesting question. I mean, I think in some ways, Devon has a line, I think in episode 203, where she says to Will, "Are you really surprised that Katie Bowman took action? That's just who she is." I think Katie is, in some ways, more of a Spitfire and more of a, Josh Holloway calls her the rebel heart than any other character I've played. Maybe it's one of the reasons that I love her so much, because I flatter myself that we're like each other. I don't know if that's true or not, but in some ways she's maybe one of the strongest characters that I've played. But I think Dr. Tancredi is also incredibly strong. She's just strong in a more in a quieter way and a more controlled way. And being strong doesn't have to do with being willing to throw a punch or even being willing to take a punch or take up arms. I think there are all kinds of strength, and hopefully the characters that I play have articulated different kinds of feminine strength over the years. I would be happy if that were true. These just don't slow down. Where do you see Katie and Will headed? Wendy Machin? Sorry. I want to say I see them headed towards reconciling and forgiving each other. I think Katie wants nothing more than for Will to understand that she did what she did out of love, not only resisting as a means of saving not only her family, but all human families in the block, but also not telling him because him having that information is lethal to him. But right now they're so entrenched, each of them in their own positions, that I think that kind of a conversation and that kind of understanding is really difficult for them. And I think where they're heading is in a mutually agreed upon pact to do whatever's necessary for their children. And that is the one thing that I think they can absolutely agree on right now, that no matter what happens, the kids and their safety has to come first. Getting ready to watch. Thank you, Therese Lynn. Therese, I don't know where you're from. Te amo, Camila. Let's see. Save the Family. I hear it. I'm trying. Really psychological breakdown of a television show. We are in worse shape than I thought. Do you regret your choice when you helped the resistance? Were you concerned with the family's safety? I think Katie in some ways regrets anything that contributed to the loss of her children. And that, and her participation in the resistance to some extent was responsible for that. To a large extent was responsible for that. You know, if you really tease it out, would Bram have joined the resistance without her? I think he would have. Because I think whether or not she had exercised that self-control, he's her son, and he was raised by a woman who believed that it's better to die standing than live on your knees, and that in dark times our courage matters far more, even if the stakes are higher. You know, in some ways, I guess you could say that none of these losses are her fault, in that, you know, Bram was caught going under the wall because he chose participation on his own, and Charlie was caught on the other side of the wall during the arrival, and she still got Gracie. But the cornerstone of any family is a marriage, and what's falling apart is her marriage. And so I don't know if she regrets participation. I think she regrets not involving Will in that participation so that it didn't become an issue that threatened to destroy their marriage. Is Charlie going to get a haircut? Yes, hang in there. Charlie will get a haircut. Staying up to watch it. Thank you, Emily, Nell Perry. Everyone talking about something else, and I'm just like The Walking Dead. Fair enough. What was it like being back after PB? We will get to the PB things. Maryland. Thanks, Maryland. How do you relate to your character in a complex role? You know, I think the world is in a state, and maybe has been for... Maybe the world is always in a state where... How do I put this? You know, I read something once that people are... Everyone is, I think it's 6 or 7 bad decisions or wrong decisions away from being destitute and homeless on the street. And I think that quote was designed, or that information was designed to remind people that none of us are better than others, just because we, at least for the moment, have money and shelter and a place to lay our heads. And I wonder if the same thing can't be said for governments and countries, that there's no administration, there's no country that's more than 6 or 7 decisions away from a very dangerous state in which the security and health and liberty and happiness of its population is not the primary goal of the government and is no longer secure. If that's the case, then I guess I relate to the complexity of Katie, because I've been living in that world my whole life, and that's the way the world is. You know, I work with a refugee group, and when I went over to Jordan and northern Iraq and saw what was happening with the Syrian refugee population, it was enormously chilling, because so many of those people had been living lives just like mine right before the conflict began. And in that moment, they had to make choices for their families that are unthinkable. Yeah. Love the show. Thank you. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to survive, says Giselle. Think your colony character was a dreamer and risked too much for something uncertain. Fair enough. Carl still isn't in the house. All right, where are we? Elizabeth Tuke. How is Katie going to deal emotionally with her sister and the distance in their relationship? That's such a good question. You know, it's interesting. In my mind, and this is something that is just kind of my backstory and something that Amanda and I have talked about together, and I love playing her sister. She's so great. In my mind, Katie and Maddie weren't very close before the arrival. I think Maddie's very much an uptown girl, and I think fought really hard to not belong in the kind of blue-collar, working-class military family that they grew up in, although I'm sure once her father became an officer, it wasn't exactly blue-collar. But I think Maddie has always wanted to be the girl in the beautiful clothes with the beautiful art in her house, and you know, the diamonds and the cars and all of that. And she had that in LA. And I think Katie runs a bar, and that's a very different life. And I think for a while when Maddie was living with the Bowmans, I think there was a part of Katie that thought, well, at least here's one upside. I've got my sister with me, and we get to be closer, and I get to mean something to her, and I can protect her, and I can look out for her. I think this season that's much harder, partly because Katie needs Maddie. Maddie has all the power and connections, and Katie's not somebody who's good at asking for help. But I think she also sees her sister kind of ideologically moving farther and farther away from her. And that's heartbreaking, because in a world like Colony, the importance of family is even greater than in a world where you don't so desperately need people. Are we going to get a good look at the aliens? I can't answer that. Will you come to Brazil? Yes, one of my best friends is from Rio, and I'm going to visit him at some point. Amor, back at you. Can you do some of your Colony quotes? I don't have any to hand. What was your opinion about Juan Jose Campanella? Oh my goodness. Argentina. There are many amazing things about your country. I am grateful to you for many wonderful things. I have to say, at the top of my list of things I am grateful to Argentina for, it would have to be Juan Jose Campanella. He is absolutely the heart and soul of season 2 when it comes to directing. He directed more episodes than anyone else, and his experience growing up under a dictatorship in Argentina informed so much of what we did, from the look of the show to the choices we made to the set design and art direction and makeup and wardrobe. I mean, it's incredible. And Juan is an extraordinarily generous, kind human being. He works tremendously hard, and to the extent that Colony is successful, he, Ryan, and Carlton, and that was my friend Jeff, he, Ryan, and Carlton are way up at the list of the reasons that it works. So, and I think he's back in Argentina right now, so take good care of him, and if we get a 3rd season, please send him back. Do you miss the cast of The Walking Dead? Could this show just be a way to get ready for what might be coming? So, look, there's Jeff.
Hi, Facebook.
Hi, everybody. Jeff's a winemaker. If anybody drinks wine, he makes Habit Wine. Do I miss the cast of The Walking Dead? No, because the friends that I have will always be my friends for life, and I adore them, and I won't get a chance to miss them because they're always going to be in my life. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it because I love them so much. Do I think this show might be a way of preparing for what's getting ready? It's interesting. People ask the same question about The Walking Dead. If entertainment can help us prepare for any eventuality, then so much the better. If there's a part of entertainment, or even sci-fi, or even Colony specifically, that is broccoli that tastes like chocolate, then maybe we all walk away a little wiser. Trevor in Georgia, best, love The Other Side of the Door. Oh, thank you so much. I can't answer that, Fatima. I'll get back to that later. Do I miss Hawaii? I do miss Hawaii. But Hawaii gave me such an extraordinary foundation growing up in a place where there were so many different people and so many different cultures and so much respect that everybody had for one another, and curiosity about each other's culture and food and language. And I feel like Hawaii was one of the best parents that I could ever have. And I've got a screenplay in the works that would take place there, so hopefully I'll be able to get back there and shoot it. I love the strong female characters you play. Who's a strong woman you admire? Oh my goodness. So many are women that you've never heard of because they're behind the scenes, or they're they're behind the scenes, or they're historical. I mean, a million. Like, if you ask me any day of the week, it would change. Right now, I would say Harriet Tubman, Toni Morrison, and pick a third. Simone de Beauvoir. That's what I would say today, but ask me another day and it would be different. You should do a face-to-face with Negan. That's an idea. Um, let's see, what else? Hi from Southwest Arkansas. Hi, Southwest Arkansas. I need to hug you. Here's a virtual hug. That was from Barbara. Being polite and lovely was a part of your character in Prison Break. Love from Pakistan. Hi, Pakistan. That I can't read because I don't read Spanish. I'm sorry. An acting seminar a couple of years ago. Will I be teaching anymore? I'm not sure. I would love to teach some more. And I think I'm doing a panel at Chapman University, although I don't think that's an acting seminar. I loved teaching that acting seminar, and I would love to do more at some point. Maybe that's in the future. I don't know. I don't have anything planned right now, though. Love from South Carolina. Hi, South Carolina. Playing 3 incredible women. Let's see. You just said my name. Amazing. Oh gosh, what are some of my favorite bands? I love, right now, The Kills, Tame Impala, the new Tribe album is incredible. I like the new John Legend album. That's fantastic. I grew up in the Indigo Girls and loved them. I downloaded a bunch of Leonard Cohen when we lost him. Love these series from St. Louis. Bye, St. Louis. Hi, St. Louis. At this moment, am I recording a movie? I'm not actually right now. What I'm doing on my hiatus from Colony, and hopefully it's a hiatus, and hopefully we get a 3rd season pickup, is I'm shadowing directors. So I'm basically trying to learn how to direct, starting with television. It's a time for women in film where we need to participate more fully in the conversation, and we need more women in film. And I thought that rather than sit around and say we need more women in film, I would try and become a woman director. So I'm working towards that. So I'm not shooting, I'm not acting in anything right now, but I am on sets. Hello from England. Oh my gosh, you stayed up so late. Thank you so much. Hi from Brazil. I have no idea what time it is in Brazil. Kashmir, amazing. Ironically, how you're on now, because I'm watching Into the Storm as I speak. Hey, Ottawa. Some fun facts about you that you would not know of. I've never had a cup of coffee. How's that? Getting ready to see you on Colony. I know it starts super soon. I will get off of here soon so that... can you really see this happening, like a true Colony happening? I think we kind of covered that one. If you weren't an actor, what would my dream profession be? If I wasn't an actor, I think I'd probably be a professor. Both my parents were professors at a university, and I was going to try and do that before... Oh, would you really run a bar? That's funny. I was going to try and do that before I got into acting. And to answer that other question, I did bartend for a while in New York. I bartended at the West Bank Cafe at 42nd and 9th, and I was not very good at it. And I remember the bartender that hired me, it was this guy from the Bronx named Larry, and the day he fired me, which he did relatively loudly and with great passion, I asked him why he hired me, because he knew when he hired me that I didn't have any experience. And he said, I hired you for the same reason I hired Bruce Willis 20 years ago. I knew you'd be a crap bartender, but I thought you'd be a pretty good actor someday, and I wanted to give you your first job in New York. So that's the only thing I have in common with Bruce Willis, I think. But I did bartend, and I wasn't very good at it. Hello from Wisconsin. What's up, Wisconsin? What did I think about TWD season 7 premiere? I didn't watch it because I can't watch the show because it scares me. So the Yonk is like home for me. Yes, it is. Although the Yonk makes me look far better as a bartender. Who runs the Yonk Twitter? I have no idea. I didn't know the Yonk had a Twitter. I love you. I love you too, Thiago. My brother James was an AD on Colony. Oh my gosh, your brother James is an absolute doll. James has gotten me through many, many things, and wrote me a note one day that said, "Kill it, Queen," that I still have on all of my scripts. It's so wonderful. Of all the characters, actors on Colony, who would survive the longest on The Walking Dead? Broussard. Broussard, like, he's a superhero. We all need action figures, but he needs one amazing. Needs one immediately. This is starting to like fry me slowly. How's the new phone? Well, the new phone is younger than my son, which is not something I've been able to say about a phone in 4 years. I'm figuring it out, but I got a little stuck in the mud, and for a minute it was stressing me out. But no, it's great. I'll tell you something about my old phone that I loved. My old phone, you couldn't take selfies. If you tried to push the flip around button, the whole phone would shut down. And I thought that that meant that my phone had an opinion about narcissism, that you shouldn't be taking pictures of yourself. And I respected that about my phone, and I missed that. So this is a cool new phone, but I don't like the fact that it lets me take pictures of myself. I think that's dangerous for vanity. Met you in Portland at Comic-Con. Can't wait for season of Prison Break. Cool, thank you. Who do you resonate with more as a person, Sarah Schofield or Katie Bowman? I think I probably was more like Sarah Schofield when I was younger and more like Katie Bowman now. The older I get, I care less and less about saying the right thing or offending people or even getting in trouble, and I'm more willing to openly speak my mind no matter what the consequences are. And I've got a couple of kids now, and I think that links me to Katie in a pretty extraordinary way. But when Prison Break comes back, I think what you'll see is that Sarah has changed quite a lot too. And so the Sarah that we left 7 years ago is probably not the Sarah that we have now. Is that my house? It's amazing. It's not my house. This is my friend Jeff and Terry's house, and they just remodeled it, and they have beautiful art. And I wish my house looked this nice. All right, we've got 2 minutes left. Thank you for doing this. You're welcome, Scott Garrison. The comments are covering your face unless you move the camera down. Oh gosh, guys, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you could see all that stuff too. That's why I only took mirror shots. Yes, that's why I only took mirror shots. Here we go. I'll try and sit up better so that, well, now there's like little funny things floating over my face. I kind of like that. I've got hearts floating all over my face. What is something all of your characters have in common, Wendy? Well, at this point, they're all mothers. And at this point, they're all people who believe in doing what's right. They succeed to different degrees. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much. I'm learning to read Spanish, but boy, I can't read it that fast. Your son, Carl Grimes, is a one-eyed badass. Awesome. Chandler Riggs is a two-eyed badass too, which is cute. My sweater is cute. Thank you. Actually, I wore this sweater in Pay the Ghost with Nick Cage, and I liked it so much that they gave it to me. I don't know who this is. Nicole Miller, maybe? I don't know if you guys can read that, but there you go. It's a huge honor to get to talk with you. You too, Mike Harrington. Thank you so much. Thanks from Texas. If you swipe right, you can hide the comments. Is that right? See, this is why I need you guys. But if I swipe right, I can't see them. What do I hope to accomplish as a director in the future? All right, that's going to be our last question because the show's starting. I want to bring my voice and experience as a woman from Hawaii, into what I do. I think I've had extraordinary male directors my entire career, and I think there's something really useful about balancing the perspective that they bring with the perspective that I bring. I would hope to be an actor's director and be able to really nurture a creative process that brings them, nurture a creative process that brings out the best in actors and makes them feel heard and makes them feel safe enough to do dangerous work. Because I think we do our best work when we're willing to go out on a limb. Thank you guys so much for being here. I've never done anything like this, and it's amazing. It's not the last one I will do. I will be back again for Colony again and for Prison Break. Oh, and they want me to remind you again, what was this that I was saying before? Okay, so for Latin America, as though that's one country. Anyway, Colony Season 2 is on TNT series, premiering tonight, February 2nd. Yay! Thursdays at 9 p.m. in Argentina, 8 p.m. in Mexico. And for Canada, Colony Season 2 is on Bravo, Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sending big hearts back at you. I just don't know how to do it electronically. And I will talk to you again soon. Ciao.